There comes a moment in every life when comfort becomes the silent killer of destiny. The human mind was not designed to live in ease but to evolve through resistance. The truth is, every breakthrough is born out of breaking limits, breaking fears, breaking excuses. If you want to rise to greatness, you must first accept the pain that comes with growth. Most people dream of success, but very few are willing to endure the grind that success demands. The world celebrates results, but it hides the suffering that built them. The hard truth is, there is no growth in comfort, no strength without struggle, and no transformation without pain. The mindset that separates the extraordinary from the ordinary is forged in moments of exhaustion, when your body screams to quit but your spirit whispers to continue. Discipline is not a feeling, it's a decision. The mind must lead, not the emotions. Every time you choose comfort over challenge, you train yourself to settle. Every time you face fear and still move forward, you train your soul to dominate. Greatness is not a gift, it's a price, paid daily through discomfort, sacrifice, and perseverance. Growth begins where comfort ends, because comfort is the enemy of progress. The human soul was not designed to remain in safety but to expand through challenges. Every individual desires a better life, a stronger mind, and a greater destiny, yet few are willing to confront the discomfort that transformation demands. Comfort feels good, but it deceives you into believing you're growing when in truth you're standing still. Growth is the natural reward of struggle. It happens when you willingly walk into situations that test your patience, endurance, and courage. It's in those moments of uncertainty that your mind is stretched, your faith is deepened, and your character is refined. Comfort builds stagnation, discomfort builds transformation. If you want to become more than you are, you must learn to leave the familiar ground and step into the unknown. Every dream begins with excitement, but that excitement fades the moment resistance appears. Most people retreat back into safety, convincing themselves that maybe it wasn't meant to be. But growth is not about what's easy, it's about what's necessary. You must be willing to suffer temporarily for permanent change. Every seed that becomes a tree must first be buried in darkness. It must endure pressure, isolation, and time before it breaks through the soil into the light. Likewise, your growth demands that you go through seasons of pain and isolation where no one sees your effort, where nothing seems to be happening, and yet beneath the surface, transformation is taking place. That process cannot be skipped, and it cannot be rushed. It's the foundation of every great success. Comfort keeps you surrounded by approval. Growth requires that you face rejection. Comfort seeks validation from others. Growth forces you to validate yourself. Comfort allows you to remain the same, but growth demands change, and change always hurts. When you begin to stretch beyond your limits, your old self will resist. Fear will whisper that you should go back, that you're not ready, that failure will destroy you. But growth is about pushing past that inner voice and discovering that you are stronger than your fears. The pain you feel in those moments is not a sign that you are failing, it's proof that you are evolving. Each time you endure discomfort, your threshold for difficulty increases, and what once felt impossible becomes routine. There is no greatness found in ease, no mastery born from comfort. The gym of the mind is struggle, and the weights are made of adversity. The people who achieve extraordinary things are not those who seek comfort but those who understand that true power is forged in the fires of challenge. Growth is uncomfortable because it forces you to confront your weaknesses and transform them into strength. The caterpillar must endure the confinement of the cocoon before it can fly. In the same way, you must endure the seasons that press you, stretch you, and humble you, because they are the birthplace of your next level. Discipline is a decision, not a feeling. Feelings are fleeting, unreliable, and constantly shifting with circumstances, but discipline is rooted in conviction. It does not depend on whether you feel inspired or tired, motivated or discouraged, it functions from the decision that you will act regardless of emotion. Many people wait for the right moment, the right mood, or the right inspiration to begin pursuing their goals, but that moment never truly arrives. Discipline means doing what needs to be done when you don't feel like doing it. It is the bridge between intention and accomplishment, the invisible force that turns dreams into habits and habits into results. Emotions create excuses, discipline creates consistency. You cannot trust how you feel in the morning, but you can trust what you decide the night before. Discipline is not born in the comfort of convenience but in the battlefield of resistance. Every time you resist the temptation to quit, you strengthen your mental muscle. Discipline is not a punishment, it is protection. It protects your vision from being destroyed by distraction. It is the wall that separates those who wish from those who work. The disciplined person doesn't ask, "Do I feel like it?" but rather, "Is it necessary?" Because necessity is stronger than emotion. Discipline recognizes that the pain of consistency is far lighter than the pain of regret. Every small act of control builds momentum toward mastery, and mastery is never accidental. It is intentional effort multiplied over time. There will always be days when your energy is low, when motivation disappears, and when doubt becomes loud. Discipline becomes your anchor in those moments. It reminds you why you started. It keeps you grounded when emotions try to steer you off course. The mind that lives by feeling will always retreat when faced with pressure, but the mind trained in discipline will keep moving forward. Discipline is a choice made daily, not a one-time declaration. It must be renewed every morning when you wake up, every night when you feel exhausted, every moment when comfort tries to seduce you back into mediocrity. It is the quiet power that says, "I will show up, no matter how I feel." That's how warriors are built. Discipline is not about perfection, it's about persistence. It allows you to fail and still keep going. It teaches you to rise without self-pity and to continue even when no one applauds. The world rewards results, but discipline celebrates effort, because effort repeated with consistency always leads to excellence. Discipline transforms chaos into order and potential into power. It is the difference between a life led by distractions and a life driven by purpose. The greatest victories come not from emotion but from endurance, from waking up each day and choosing to act according to your values, not your moods. That decision, made repeatedly, builds strength, confidence, and integrity, shaping you into the kind of person who does not need to feel ready to take the next step. Pain is the foundation of true strength because it reveals what comfort hides. Pain strips away the illusion of ease and exposes the truth about who you really are. Most people spend their lives avoiding pain, but in doing so, they also avoid growth. Pain is not your enemy. It is the tool that shapes your endurance, sharpens your focus, and strengthens your will. When everything feels comfortable, you remain the same. But when you face pain, emotional, physical, or spiritual, you are forced to evolve. The resistance you feel when life gets hard is not meant to destroy you but to prepare you for what's coming. Strength is not born in moments of laughter and ease. It is forged in struggle, in sweat, in tears, and in perseverance when no one is watching. Pain teaches you lessons that success never will. It humbles you, grounds you, and builds compassion within you. When you endure hardship, you begin to see that every challenge carries within it the seed of transformation. You learn to rely not on what's easy, but on what's necessary. Pain trains the mind to stay steady when the world around you shakes. It forces you to dig deep into the unseen parts of your soul and uncover the courage you never knew existed. Every scar you carry becomes a story of survival and a reminder that you are capable of enduring more than you imagined. Pain is the test that separates those who dream from those who do. It demands commitment, patience, and persistence when nothing seems to be working. Pain also refines your purpose. It burns away the superficial desires and exposes what truly matters. When you go through struggle, you begin to understand what you're fighting for. Pain clarifies your priorities and teaches you that the reward is not in escaping hardship but in overcoming it. The greatest people in history were not those who avoided pain, but those who harnessed it. They allowed pain to mold their character and drive their mission. Pain builds resilience, and resilience is the root of strength. You cannot become mentally tough if you've never been tested. You cannot build faith without walking through fear. You cannot become unbreakable without first being broken. Pain also strips away excuses. When you've been through real suffering, you stop blaming circumstances and start taking ownership of your response. You stop asking for life to be easier and start asking to be stronger. Pain teaches you discipline when motivation fades. It pushes you to keep moving when your body screams to stop. It reveals that strength is not the absence of pain but the ability to carry it and still move forward. The foundation of true strength is not built on success or comfort but on endurance through pain. Every setback, every failure, every sleepless night becomes the bricks of that foundation, and each one makes you harder to break, more grounded in purpose, and more relentless in pursuit of what you are called to become. No one is coming to save you. Take full responsibility. The moment you understand this truth, you step into real power. Many people live waiting for someone to rescue them, a mentor, a friend, a miracle, a stroke of luck, but that mindset keeps you trapped. The hard truth is that no one can live your life for you. No one can fight your battles, build your dream, or carry your pain. The path to greatness begins the moment you stop expecting others to fix what only you can change. Taking full responsibility means accepting that your future is in your hands. It means owning your failures, your habits, your decisions, and your results. It's not about blaming yourself but about reclaiming control over your destiny. You cannot rise while you are still pointing fingers. Power belongs to those who say, "It's on me," and mean it. Responsibility is not a burden, it's freedom. When you stop waiting for help, you start moving. You realize that every step forward depends on your willingness to act, to adjust, and to persist. Taking responsibility transforms you from a victim of circumstance into a creator of change. You no longer react to life, you respond with purpose. The reason most people never fulfill their potential is because they spend their lives waiting for external validation or perfect timing. But there is no perfect timing, only the decision to begin. The moment you choose to take responsibility, you gain clarity. You stop wasting energy blaming others and start using that energy to build yourself. Every excuse you eliminate adds strength to your character. Responsibility forces you to confront the truth, that your success or failure will be the sum of your own choices. Taking full responsibility also means facing your past without resentment. Many people allow their upbringing, their environment, or their past mistakes to define them. But when you accept responsibility, you understand that your past may have shaped you, but it does not have to control you. Every pain, every setback, every disappointment becomes raw material for growth. You can either let it break you or use it to build you. The power to transform your life begins with self-accountability. It means refusing to let excuses rob you of progress. You may not control what happens to you, but you control how you respond. That response determines your future. Ownership gives you direction, blame leaves you powerless. Responsibility is not glamorous. It requires honesty, humility, and discipline. It means showing up when no one claps, staying committed when motivation fades, and learning to depend on your actions, not your emotions. It's the quiet strength that says, even if no one believes in me, I'll keep going. Those who take responsibility stop looking for shortcuts and start embracing the process. They build habits that align with their goals, not their moods. They understand that every result in their life is connected to a decision they made or avoided. No one is coming to rescue you because you were never meant to be rescued. You were meant to rise through your own effort, through the choices you make daily, and through the discipline to keep going when no one is watching. The mind must dominate when the body and emotions resist because strength begins in thought long before it shows in action. The body is limited, and emotions are unpredictable, but the mind is the command center that determines how far you can go. When fatigue sets in, when pain becomes unbearable, and when fear starts whispering that you've had enough, it is the mind that decides whether you stop or continue. Most people let their emotions lead, and that's why they quit when it gets hard. Emotions want comfort, but growth demands control. The body says, I can't, but the mind has the power to say, yes, you can. The greatest battles are not fought in the gym or on the field, they are fought in the mind. The person who learns to master their thoughts becomes unstoppable because discipline begins with mental dominance. When the mind leads, the body follows. Every time you override your feelings and push through discomfort, you are rewiring your brain to obey your will instead of your weakness. That's how mental toughness is built, through repetition, through pain, through consistency when motivation fades. The moment you stop negotiating with your feelings, you start building resilience. The mind must be trained like a muscle, stretched by challenges, and strengthened through hardship. You cannot expect it to be strong if you never expose it to resistance. Every struggle, every long day, every test of endurance is an opportunity to teach your mind that you are in control. The more you practice that control, the less power emotions have over your life. You begin to operate from conviction, not convenience. Emotions are temporary, but decisions made by a strong mind last forever. A disciplined mind doesn't deny pain, it endures it with purpose. It doesn't ignore fear, it moves forward in spite of it. When you reach the point where your body feels like quitting, that's when your real training begins. Most people stop at 40% of their capacity because their emotions convince them they've reached their limit. But the mind knows there's more inside. The key is learning to silence the noise of emotion and listen to the voice of purpose. Your mind must learn to command the body like a soldier, not a servant. The more you allow feelings to dictate your actions, the weaker you become. But every time you choose discipline over emotion, you reinforce the power of your mind. Mental dominance is not arrogance, it's awareness. It's knowing that you are capable of more than you think. It's the ability to stay calm under pressure and focused under chaos. The mind that dominates refuses to be swayed by temporary emotions. It chooses consistency over comfort, action over hesitation, and purpose over pleasure. When you train your mind to lead, your body becomes a tool, and your emotions become signals, not masters. You become the kind of person who doesn't rely on motivation but on mission, who doesn't stop when it's hard but when it's done, who understands that real victory begins when the mind learns to rule over everything that tries to hold it back. Success belongs to the relentless, not the talented. Talent may open the door, but only relentless effort keeps it open. Many people are gifted, but very few are consistent. The world is full of potential that never became reality because talent alone is not enough. Relentlessness is the ability to keep going when motivation fades, when progress feels invisible, and when failure becomes frequent. It's the mindset that says, I'm not stopping until it's done. Talent can make you impressive for a moment, but relentlessness makes you unstoppable for a lifetime. It's not about being the smartest, fastest, or strongest, it's about refusing to quit when others do. Those who win are not always the most gifted, but they are always the most determined. Success bows to persistence, not privilege. Relentless people understand that the road to success is not straight or smooth. It's full of detours, delays, and disappointments. They don't expect things to be easy, they expect them to be earned. They see obstacles not as signs to stop but as tests to overcome. Every failure becomes feedback, every rejection becomes fuel, and every setback becomes a stepping stone. When the world says no, the relentless say try again. They keep pushing, adjusting, and learning until they find a way. That's the secret of progress, not perfection, but persistence. You can outlast talent with tenacity. While the talented wait for the perfect conditions, the relentless create them. While others dream, they do. While others talk, they act. Relentlessness is built in the moments no one sees. It's built in early mornings, long nights, and the quiet grind of consistency. It's choosing to work when no one is watching, to improve when no one is clapping, and to believe when no one is supporting. The relentless do not depend on applause or approval, their drive comes from within. They are powered by vision, not validation. They know that greatness is not a single act but a daily habit. Every small step compounds over time into something extraordinary. The relentless mindset is forged in repetition, the same discipline repeated day after day, even when the results take months or years to appear. It's not glamorous, but it's effective, and it separates dreamers from doers. To be relentless is to refuse to surrender to fatigue, failure, or fear. It means getting up one more time than you fall, trying one more time than you fail, and believing one more time than you doubt. It's about mastering the art of showing up, even when you don't feel like it. The relentless understand that consistency beats intensity every time. They do not rely on luck or talent but on the power of endurance. Success doesn't come to the one who starts fast. It comes to the one who refuses to stop. The relentless mind never asks how long it will take. It only asks what must be done. That is the spirit that conquers mediocrity, breaks barriers, and turns ordinary people into legends.